Hey there, friends and foes. This is Johnny with Back of the Cereal Box, a pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday experience of our youth. But we can't think of a better way to start your week than checking out Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. It is the best way to start your week. We absolutely love it and never miss it. Thanks, Chris and Amanda, for all you do. And until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the Back of the Cereal Box. I'm Johnny. I'm done. Ta-da!
Chris and Amanda always online. Grab your headphones, let's review time. Music's their love and niche divine. Laughs and insights mixed like wine. Every strong and every beat. They analyze, they can't be beat. Stealing it on the socials neat. Join the fun and take your seat. If music's your thing, come along. Hear Amanda sing her song. Chris brings the notes all day long. Together they make us strong.
Well, good morning, everybody. How the heck are ya? Happy Monday to all of our friends out there who are listening on RadioGardenState.com, who are tuning in to YouTube and Facebook right now. We appreciate you guys spending your Monday morning with us. I am one of two of your hosts. My name's Chris, and I am joined by that girl.
Hello.
Amanda Sharp.
That's me.
That's you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. I am all ready for another episode of Song Swap Showdown, which is the program you're all listening to and watching right now. And if this is your first time checking out our show, well, how our show typically works is that Amanda and I each swap 3 songs with each other that we may or may not have heard before, and we rate those songs on a scale of 1 to 5 records. Very easy, very simple. Now, 1 record. You don't want to be in a 1 record territory because a 1 record territory is a skip.
Sure is.
That is an instant skip.
It is.
That song sucks and we're skipping it. Well, we think it sucks.
That's right.
One of us does. Sometimes one of us thinks it sucks and the other one thinks it's a 5 record song, which...
Yeah, that can get into some gray territory there.
Exactly. And a 5 record song, as some of you may or may not know, is a song that goes on our Eternity playlist. That's a song that we feel like is just, it's awesome. It is heavenly music to our ears. That is a 5 record song. And we pick the songs based on a theme. And how that theme is chosen, it's very simple. We spin a wheel at the end of the episode. We spin a wheel of themes, and whatever it lands on, which God knows it's landed on some crazy stuff, that's the theme.
And we are so proud of that wheel. We look forward to that wheel at the end of the show, every single show. And
We do.
I mean, it's way bigger a deal to us than you, we realize. But thank you for allowing us that space, listeners.
Yes, absolutely, because that wheel gets super wacky. Super wacky. And last week, our theme, so if you listened to last episode, it landed on songs from 2010. And so we had a lot of fun. We shared songs from 2010. Some were hidden gems, some were hits, but I think it was a good representation of 2010.
Yeah.
This week's theme, Amanda, do you want to talk about this week's theme? Because I think we did 2010 and then we got into our music time machines.
We got into our DeLorean and went all the way back to 1983.
Right.
And spoiler alert, I didn't think about this until this morning. And Chris, so kindly as he always does, say, Amanda, you get to make the rules. It doesn't matter. What you say goes. He spoils me.
It's true.
But I realized, so I was really proud. I said, I'm going all top 100 hits this time.
You are. You did.
I did.
And I'm glad.
And I am too. Yet I didn't factor in that to become a hit in 1983, it maybe was released in 1982. So I'm not playing 100% by the rules today. Not one of my songs actually was released in 1983, but they all topped the charts in 1983. So we're gonna just run with it. So give me all a week, everyone. We're gonna pretend that I followed the rules.
We're gonna give you some grace this week.
That's right.
It's fine. You know what? It was released in 82, but it hit in 83. So we'll just say it's 1983. 1983 hits.
There we go.
Right.
And I was really feeling 1983 in
Yeah.
our research, weren't you?
I was really feeling 1983 because there was a lot of great stuff released in 83, especially because, you know, as I tend to do, and I think that it's only right, is that I tend to go into the rock and metal world. And I got to tell you, there were classic rock and metal records released in 1983. And I had my list, and then it went away. So I was going to bring that back up to talk about some of the big records that released in 83.
I just really feel the 80s, that hair metal, that like makeup metal, that all the metal was very, very, very popular.
It was. That early 80s was truly one of the golden time. I mean, it would go on, but it was really the rise of that sound and MTV really embracing it and playing those music videos, which helped because... Let's face it, metal, regardless of what you think, was very visual, theatrical, and these guys leaned into the music video medium. Like, they totally embraced music videos. And so some of the notable, famous rock and metal records dropped in 1983. Holy Diver by Dio, the first Metallica record, Kill 'Em All, Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue, Lick It Up by Kiss, Quiet Riot, Metal Health with huge record, Def Leppard, Pyromania, of course Slayer with Show No Mercy. We had Accept with Balls to the Wall. I mean, that's just a few, guys. I mean, you seriously go in, look it up. It's truly amazing. Actually, Scott Rewald, I got to give props to him. On our Facebook page. Oh, there he is. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
On our Facebook page, he actually did screenshots of all the rock and metal. And it's like, wow, you just forget. And having grown up in that time, it was awesome. It was awesome being a rock and metal fan in the early 80s because, I mean, these are records I listen to still to this day because I'm an old man and I go, wow, this sounds so fresh and new. And even though it's totally not. But to me, it sounds fresh and new.
Yeah. And I will say, so when I was researching your choices to me this year, for this year. I went to YouTube because I always really enjoy reading the comments under all the videos because I feel like I learned so much. And I just saw a comment that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So I had a smile. Sorry, everyone. And the comments are really from these babies. So many are saying, oh, I wish I would have lived in the 80s. Oh, I wish I would have did this.
I know.
Oh. And I think we just did not realize how
good we had it.
Good we had it and how special we were to have been a part of that decade because the 80s, there's something to be said about the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's one of those things where, you know, you always look back fondly when you grew up that time. You know, you kind of, what's nice is that you forget about the bad stuff that happened and you remember the good things and
100%.
And music, we always talk about it in the show. Music's got that great way of doing that and bringing you back to some good times. And being a kid, being a child of the 80s and discovering this music and hearing it, like Scott Rewalt had a comment up that I just had up. It says like being introduced to magic. I go, that is a perfect quote because that's what it felt like for me being
wow.
Yeah, like wow, look at this. Hear this music is you know, up until like then, it's like I was a steady diet of classic rock, which is cool. I mean, I love it, but like. This stuff like sounded so cool and it was so visual and over the top and bombastic and the songs were wild and the lyrics were crazy. Like it was just awesome. So
the singers were wild and
everything,
all over the place and
everything
awesome.
was over the top. So I was really excited that we did this episode and I'm glad because I know normally we tried to find songs for each other that we may or may not have heard before. Now,
Agreed.
Your songs, I'm actually glad you went top 100 because I also think it's cool for people to hear us talk about some of these top 100 songs because I think does it hold up is always a good discussion. Does the song hold up today?
Yeah.
all these years later, almost 40 years later for some of these songs, right? 1983, so, or is it 41 years?
Yeah, 41 years.
41 years. So do some of these songs hold up 41 years later? That's one. Number two, is it still like something that we like or want to listen to? How is the song? So I think it's cool to have these discussions about well-known songs. Now, my songs to you this week.
Yeah.
I think that I think at this point you probably know the bands, although I wasn't sure if you knew the songs.
Correct. I knew one.
Okay, I had a feeling you might know the one, but I'm like, still, it's good to go and talk about it because I never know with you, and so it's always a fun discussion. And quite frankly, let's just say what it is. People love to hear Amanda's opinion on guitar-based music. Like, they just love it. They love hearing you talk about rock and metal and extreme stuff because I don't know, but the internet, especially YouTube, loves it. They love Amanda talking about rock.
They love to hate me.
They absolutely do. They just do. And it's fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating.
I look at myself in the mirror on our Monday mornings. I'm like, who are you going to take off today, Amanda?
Yeah. Who today is that girl gonna completely tick off?
There's always someone.
There's always someone. There's always someone. So, all right, guys. So before we get into it today, just want to remind you that if you are watching on Facebook and YouTube, you can also, if you're on the go, you can listen to us on Radio Garden State. We're proud to be syndicated, if that's the right word, on Radio Garden State. So, and you can listen to us on RadioGardenState.com. You can also use the TuneIn app as well, which is a great way to listen to the station if you're in your car. Works with Apple and Android and also on any Alexa device. Now, I will say this. Yesterday, Mr. Mike Ham, who owns Radio Garden State, the boss of Radio Garden State, he sent a little video out to all of us hosts. Ooh. And the video was a little live demo, a preview of the Radio Garden State app. So that is coming very soon, and you will be able to listen to Radio Garden State on an app. You'll be able to have an app on your phone and access the station anytime, listen to shows, see the schedule, everything. So everything you could do like online on a website, you'll be able to do in one place on an app. So super excited about that. So that is coming.
It will be able to be played in the background on my phone. While
100%.
That's what I'm waiting
100%. Yep.
I hate when I don't mind. I love listening, but when I have to like text a return or something and it stops. Like, so the app is going to be an amazing thing to keep me tuned in.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be great, and it's going to help the station. It's going to help our show and other shows. So believe me, when that gets launched, we are going to be talking all about it. So
Good job, Mike Ham.
Some little news from the Radio Garden State front, which we're so happy to be part of the Radio Garden State family here and be able to bring our show to all the Radio Garden State listeners as well. So we appreciate everybody's support over there and Mike Ham for allowing us to hijack his airwaves for 2 hours on Monday mornings at 8:15.
That's right.
Yeah. So I thought it was apropos that we were talking about 80s stuff, and I had a total nerd moment this weekend.
Okay.
See, guys, this is what happens on our show. Before we dive into the music, it's like story time a little bit. So
it happens.
Yesterday, last night actually, my buddy Josh and I, it was supposed to be our respective
Parr?
Yes, Joshua Parr, and we were supposed to go with our respective spouses and significant others. However, it wound up just becoming me and Josh, so it wound up being a boys' night instead. But we got tickets to go see The Fifth Element. It's because they were doing an anniversary re-release of that movie. Do you know The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and Emilia Jojovic?
It made me scared thinking that I didn't know there was a band, but yes, I seen the movie.
So we went to go see Fifth Element, and so believe me, guys, the story has a point. There's 80 stuff coming. So here's the point of the story: is that I don't know. I don't go to the movies as much as I used to anymore. I love going to the movies, but it's a thing. It's a little very expensive, so I go when like there's matinee, like when things are cheaper to save money. So there's a thing now at AMC. I don't know if there's all theaters, but AMC, I feel like it's like you're going to see a band now. They actually have like a merch behind the counter, like movie merch. So there's shirts and popcorn buckets and all kinds of like things that you could buy that tie in with the movie. So here comes the 80s thing, is that Alien Romulus came out over the summer, and I kept wanting to go see that in the theater, and I was like, I wanted to go, and and I just never got a chance to go. And even though that movie was just released, it takes place directly after the original Alien, which was released in like 1979, 1980. And so I was like having a total nerd moment, and behind the counter, they had Alien Romulus t-shirts. Now, this movie's out of the theaters. It's on digital already.
Sure.
But they had shirts that were marked down 75%.
75%.
And Josh and I each got Alien Romulus shirts that are totally styled from the 80s. And it was it was a complete nerd moment. We're both like, do you guys, are 75% off? And they're like, yeah. We're like, we'll take 2 shirts. You have XL. And they're like, yeah, well, look. And they only had 1 XL in a bag, and they had to take the one off the hanger that was on display for the other XL. Hey, and total nerd 80s moment because, having grown up watching Alien and Aliens and being involved in the whole thing in the 80s, we were like 2 total nerds being like, oh, yeah, we'll take our drinks, and we'll also get the 2 Alien shirts, and those are 75% off, right? So I wound up getting, because I also had a $10 off coupon, so we got 2 drinks and 2 shirts that were $23 each, marked out to $6. The entire thing, and I had the $10 coupon, $16 for 2 drinks and 2 shirts.
So
it was a win.
Those shirts were less money than the pop itself.
That's correct. And it's seltzers, too. Like, we get seltzers because, I don't drink sugary drinks. I just don't do that at all anymore. And so I get the AHA lemon lime or the blueberry seltzer.
So let's break all this down.
I know. There's a lot to unpack there. And I know it's a very long story, guys, but it was just getting to the point. I mean, I could have just been like, I went to the movies and I bought this Alien shirt for 75% off. But I don't know. I felt the journey was a little needed.
So you were, first of all, going to see
The Fifth Element.
A re-release of an old movie.
Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of The Fifth Element.
So that's like aging you a little.
Yeah, it's like 90s. It's a 90s film.
Yeah.
Which is still amazing to watch, by the way.
And then you fanboy.
A total fanboyed out.
Over some merch from 80s movies.
Correct. But released now because Alien Romulus was released over the summer, at the end of the summer.
Yep.
And I did just watch it like recently, and I was like, this was really, Rachel and I watched it. We both really liked it a lot. But it's based on, an 80s franchise that was big then, and their art is all like retro 80s. So I was like,
Okay. And then you get a seltzer.
Yeah.
While also using a coupon. If this doesn't scream I'm from the 80s or I lived in the 80s, I don't know what does.
Yeah. A $10 coupon because you get the rewards. And I opened up the AMC app and I had a bunch of rewards and I was like, ooh. So I was like, I can't use all these because Rachel's going to go see Wicked. So she's going in like a couple. So I'm like, all right, let me.
I'll share $10.
I'm gonna share $10, and I'll have to. So we'll split it. So she has $10 to use for whatever she wants, and she may buy a Wicked shirt or something. I don't know, because they had Wicked merch there too, and they had Wicked merch. Nightmare Before Christmas. They actually had a really cool Jack Skellington with it said Nightmare in like death metal font. It was pretty cool. They had a Delia Deetz shirt for Beetlejuice. They actually had some really good merch. I was like,
does not have that.
It's a
very nice one.
I know. I told Josh. I go, this is like going to like a hardcore show, or a punk show. Like there's merch on hangers hanging up behind the concession stand, like as punk rock as it could be, with like signs written on it. And I was like, this is like awesome. Like there's something very cool about getting popcorn and buying a shirt. I don't know.
Sure. At the same time.
Movie merch.
How busy was this theater at the time and for this viewing?
Oh, it wasn't busy at all. I mean, it's Sunday night at 7. Like, and we got there a little late because we were watching the end of the Chiefs Bills game. So we're like, oh, let's finish this and then we'll go.
Before.
Yeah. So we came in we came in just at the awesome. Like we knew like when we were coming in. So it was all worth it. It was great. It was a fun Sunday evening, which normally I'm just sitting home in my pajamas, like. Doing nothing, but it was a fun little romp last night.
I am glad you and Joshua had a very pleasant time.
We did. And Scott was saying he was talking. Okay, here it goes. That's pretty sweet. In the late 90s, I was on the fence about purchasing a life-size wearable Predator costume. I should have done. You absolutely should have done it, Scott. I don't know why you hesitated. You got to jump back in your time machine and go make that purchase.
Yes.
Yeah. He goes, it was at one of the original Chiller shows. Yeah, at the old Channel 9 studios. Yeah, in Secaucus, Channel 9 WWOR TV. Like, it was like basically a step up from public access.
Okay. You've shared this before.
Yeah, it's not. It was a step up. They had just a little more money than regular public because they were an actual network.
I feel like you shared a story about iconic figure. It was
Uncle Floyd.
Yes, thank you.
Uncle Floyd. New Jersey legend Uncle Floyd.
That was the station he nestled his
he
home.
was on Channel 3. He was definitely public access. Like literally public access where anybody can have a show. That was Uncle Floyd. Yeah. But he is a legend. He's a legend. New Jersey legend.
Love it. You should do a little bit of you should honor him on one of your radio shows these mornings.
I should.
For Radio Garden State.
We really should do an Uncle Floyd retrospective.
Since so many people, I remember when we first talked about him, like everybody was chiming in that they knew him.
Oh man, I mean, if you're from New Jersey, you definitely know Uncle Floyd. I mean, it's
Uncle Floyd it.
Uncle Floyd. I gotta see if I could even.
I don't think we went down the rabbit hole of who he actually was in that episode.
Yeah, I don't know either. I have to
Uncle Floyd. That's my parents' dog's name.
Uncle Floyd?
Just Floyd. No uncle, just
no
Floyd.
uncle, just Floyd.
So I'll remember Uncle Floyd now.
I should have queued up some tunes.
You didn't realize that this was going to go this direction, although our shows always go crazy.
Well, and Uncle Floyd is an 80s icon.
And
there we go.
Scott is saying he still does shows in the Franklin Lakes area.
He does, actually. You're right. He does.
Cool.
Yeah, let me.
Good on him.
He used to have this puppet called Looney. No, sorry, that's Oogie. And then he had Looney Skip Rooney was another character. Hold on, you guys got to see. Guys, we're going down a rabbit hole really quick,
sorry.
So please indulge us.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's
are used to.
So he used to come on and play piano and stuff like.
He's got a whole YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff is like monumental. Here, hold on. Let me.
That's the one and only Uncle Floyd right there. In the
this is him. Yeah. So let's.
Like a saloon.
And he would come on and play piano and make songs.
Oh, I blow through here. The music goes round and around. Oh,
no dumping.
When it comes out here. Oh, you push that first valve down. The music goes round and round. Middle now down, and the music goes round and round. Below, 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 diddly-oh, let's do the jazz from out.
Like, when I tell you this show was like just a fly by the seat of the pants show.
Wow.
Like, and he would
look at him go.
And that's the best part is like you would hear the guys in the background like laughing and like.
He kind of looks like Uncle Joey from Full House.
But I mean, the guy is an awesome talent. Like, we're going down such a rabbit hole, guys. All right, Radio Garden State listeners will really appreciate. I gotta play some puppet stuff. Here's the puppet.
What are you?
Oh, hold on. There's an ad here.
Wicked ad.
Yeah. Because we were talking about Wicked, so we were like,
isn't
all right.
that crazy? It's so scary.
All right, so here's the puppet.
Uncle Floyd shows his dad.
This is how the opening would go. He would do interviews. It's just, I'm telling you, this thing is just complete, like show out of your garage with a camera. Like this is YouTube, guys, before YouTube. Like,
do you know like how much harder it was to do all that back then too? Like, so to get that to be good on him. Oh.
Yeah. So this is the crazy. This is Oogie.
With a full human hand as a hand.
Yeah. Just complete nonsense jokes. Like making stuff up. It's crazy.
The noises. This is like what kids do around a house.
Right.
That drives parents crazy.
Yeah. So this is what would go on this show. Like
Is this real laughter?
Yes.
Stop it. Stop talking to Skip.
Oh my gosh, this is like
Day I had.
What day did you
this
have?
is like someone
I
who
went
built
to
a
see
band in a
play.
garage,
It
like you
was a
said.
very
Yeah.
He's just
strange
recording.
play, but I went to see a play starring Looney Skip Rooney.
Looney Skip Rooney was in a play today?
Yes.
Where was the play?
Off Broadway.
Okay.
Downtown?
Yeah, downtown Springfield.
Downtown Springfield.
Yeah, so it's just guys, it's such a you guys want to know what makes New Jersey so great? Here you go.
Uncle Lloyd. Now,
Uncle Floyd.
Sorry,
Uncle Floyd.
Now, for those who just listen, because we do have viewers that just
I know,
that just
yeah.
listen, you really need to hop into the good old YouTube and either Google search Uncle Floyd or come to our episode and witness what we all just witnessed.
Yeah, and Sky's saying as a kid he was the first approachable celebrity I met. Now, I agree with that.
Oh.
So I grew up in Totowa, in New Jersey. I used to, until 16 years old, I grew up in Totowa. And he lived in the rich section of Totowa, which was called Day Hill. And he lived up there, and you went to his house for Halloween because he gave out the big candy bars. He did not hold back. He didn't hold back.
man.
He handed
Good
out
man.
full-size candy bars.
He was making that public access money.
He was. Well, he was also in Good Morning Vietnam, by the way, too, guys. So if you remember the movie Robin Williams, he had a supporting role in Good Morning Vietnam.
Okay.
So yes, he is a New Jersey legend
Wow.
in every sense of the word. So
There's so much that was birthed out
Yeah.
of New Jersey.
so much. So I love how
I
you
don't
were
know
like
why I did that.
You did the Italian thing. So much.
So
See,
much.
You're
that
like
came
an-
out of New Jersey.
you're like an honorary New Jerseyan now.
Simply because of this.
Yeah, simply because of this. You're going to be talking Noel, New Jersey style very soon. You're going to lose that Midwest accent.
That's
The charming Midwest, that girl accent.
Well,
Okay.
what a wonderful way to travel down some memory lane this morning.
Wow. This was a
All
rabbit
right.
hole, guys.
Uncle Floyd.
We were talking about Uncle Floyd, the Alien Romulus shirt, and we still haven't even talked about a lick of music yet.
Oh my gosh, we're 30 minutes in. We're sorry, but this is what we do.
I'm not apologizing. I refuse to apologize for our show. We are who we are. We're here to entertain.
Good or bad.
That's right. No apologies. Yeah. Scott, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Okay. So we got six songs today, all lined up, guys. Okay. Where are we starting today?
You know what?
Whose list?
Start on mine.
All right, I'm
because-
starting on yours. I'm glad. I want to start on yours. So, listen, guys, we're diving right into this because Amanda's very first song to me is Maneater. She's a
Here she
Maneater.
comes.
Whoa,
Watch out,
here
for
yeah.
she'll
Chew you up.
Yes.
Yes. Maneater by the one and only amazing duo, Hall and Oats.
Which,
Hall and Oats.
let's never forget the year we called the Hall and Oats.
We called the Hall and Oats
hotline.
hotline,
It was the legendary.
which I don't know if there's still. Is that? Oh, it still is. Is it still there? Could we potentially? Yeah, because you could actually hear it. Should we call it again?
Let's call it again.
Let's see if
reminisce.
it works. Let's reminisce. Let's see if the Hall and Oats hotline still works, guys.
We were okay. Now, the first time we did this, we were a nervous wreck.
We were because we thought we were gonna call someone.
Like Grandma Millie, like
Yeah.
on the West Coast, just waking up. But it was truly the Hall and I was sweating. I remember how bad I was sweating, thinking that we were getting scammed.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
see.
let's call that Hall and Oats, not Colin Oats.
Welcome to Colin Oats, your emergency Hall and Oats helpline. To hear one-on-one, please press 1. To hear it go, please press 2. To hear Maneater, please press 3. To hear privatize, please press 4.
Let's do. There we go. We used to call the operator back in the 80s. Oh, no.
No.
2024, we're calling Oats.
We're calling Oats, yo.
Just in case, we normally play this off Spotify, but oh, not today.
No,
It's special.
we're calling it. So by the way, the number for calling Oats 719-26 Oats. OATES. Guys, this is your emergency. By the way, he said this is the emergency Hall & Oates hotline.
That's right. When you need a quick fix.
Yeah.
You'll only come out at night, leaving hungry tired. Nothing to do, see to hear.
Not that you can dial this up on Spotify. No. You have to call the number.
What you waiting?
Pick up your phone.
She's sitting with you, but her eyes are on the door.
Hall & Oates, guys.
This has a large intro, but it's
Yeah.
good and necessary.
What you think? Get it for free. The woman's wild. She can't stand by the further that you want. Money don't matter. You're in it for love.
Oh, here we go, folks.
Get you far.
If it wasn't already good enough, it's gonna get better.
Let's go to bed.
Oh, here she comes.
Yeah, she's
Watch
coming.
that boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a Maneater.
All right.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a Maneater.
All right. So that's Calling Oates.
Legendary.
Legendary Calling Oates right there. Hotline.
Just as special as it was the first time we called it.
Still just as amazing. I don't know why, but it just is. It just truly is. So anyway, Maneater by Hall & Oates. This was a song, obviously. So this was released. I have this album, by the way. I have H2O.
Nice.
Now, originally released in 1982, but the song became a big hit in 83. It reached #1 in the US and #6 charted in the UK. Now, actually, this song is really about a very seductive woman with expensive tastes that she uses men to satisfy. Much like the line, her mind is Tiffany Twist in the Eagles song Hotel California. The lyrics to this song use a luxury brand to develop a character as she is described as a she-cat tamed by the purr of a jaguar, referring to the high-end automobile. And that's coming from songfacts.com, by the way.
There's women with very expensive taste.
Yeah. This song spent 4 weeks at #1 in America, making the biggest U.S. hit of the 80s to feature a sax solo.
Now, and I feel like saxophone was a heavy addition to a lot of songs in the 80s.
Absolutely. Pure
And I
80s
miss it.
gold was the sax. Like, there are Instagram accounts, I'm sure, where they, like, I follow all these. They're like 80s, and they recreate, like, 80s, like, soundtrack stuff, and there's, like, ones that'll be, like, Detective in the Heat of the Night. And it's, and it's literally, like, and I go, oh, my God, this totally could have come out of, like, Miami Vice or any of that stuff. I love listening to, like, the 80s synthwave and all that recreated 80s, like, textural sounds and all that. I love it. I can listen to it for hours.
There's a guy that I follow on TikTok, and I can't think of his name, but he adds saxophone into popular today songs, and it's always the songs that you didn't know needed saxophone.
It's
and
perfect.
It's amazing. So I'll have to try and find him and then send him
It's
your
perfect.
way.
Yeah, I love it.
So good.
Yeah, and they were saying that this song was a showcase for Hall & Oates sax player Charles Mr. Casual DeChant, who appears in the video during his solo. And in 2006, of course, Nelly Furtado released a song called Maneater that was influenced by this as well.
Did you listen to that song?
I didn't.
It's kind of on, because I also got all my info from songfacts.com.
Should I play a little bit?
Sure, but you don't have to. It's basically like a song in the perspective of her.
Got it. All right.
Like
yeah,
she's the man-eater type
Yeah.
of thing from what I picked up. And wow, what a different sound than her Like a Bird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that song, that Like a Bird song was huge.
Yeah, but you know what? She doesn't have like the album that has her Man-Eater
Right.
song on it. It has far more downloads than Like a Bird. Like I couldn't believe that is far more popular
It's
than
a Hall &
something
Oates
we knew.
connection, man. It's the power of Hall & Oates. You
Tell you
cannot discount the power that Hall & Oates
You
have.
gotta call them Oats for those
gotta-
favors.
Call them Oates. And one of the other things, too, which I didn't know this until I read this. I did not know that Daryl Hall's longtime girlfriend of Sarah Allen had a hand in writing this song. She's credited on the track along with the duo. According to Hall, the original lyric had some additional words in the chorus. After she's a man-eater, Allen convinced him to end the line there, which Hall says made the song come together. And there's a lot of funny stuff about the panther too in the music video. It's saying somebody decided the man-eater wouldn't be complete unless we had an actual panther, a man-eating animal in the video. It appeared for a second and a half and cost around $10,000.
Kind of like Elvis and his
Yeah.
cheetah.
Yeah, exactly. Daryl Hall said that for most of Shoot the Panther was leashed to the floor, but at one point it got loose and started roaming in the rafters.
Nothing
goes-
to see there.
He goes, "This is when he left the set." I would have left too. I'm like, God, I'm out. There's a live panther on set. I am out of here. Yeah, no karate chopping.
I would have tried to like tame it, like here, little kitty.
You would have been mauled in 3 seconds
It
flat.
would have been worth it.
It would have been worth it to be mauled by an actual man-eating panther.
Well, we don't know that it was man eating. It could have been nice.
Could have been nice. All right. All right. Mr. Mark Ronick checking in with Good Morning, friends. Good morning, our
Good
friend.
morning.
We're talking about Maneater right now by Daryl Hall and John Oates. That was Amanda's first song to me. So listen, this song is a great song. I mean, I am glad we're talking about this because, and this is why I do like talking about some of the popular songs.
Yeah.
And so question is, does Maneater hold up today in 2024, the year of our Lord? Does it hold up? The answer is yes, it absolutely does. That bass line, it itself is completely catchy. Doom, 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 doom. Like it sticks in your head. You immediately hear the song and you're into it. It's a great beat. It's really catchy. And we talked about the sax solo. It's excellent. There's a vibe to this song that screams 80s. I'm on the prowl, detective, hard-boiled detective. Like it just instantly. It's a thing, man.
Song.
It could be a stalker song.
Could have been on that
Was this
playlist of
on our
ours.
stalker playlist? I don't think so.
No.
So
couldn't.
yeah, I think that this could have made it's just a complete 80s vibe. Complete
And
80s vibe.
I personally think, even though it's very catchy, it's not that annoying earworm.
It is not. It's not pop nonsense. It's not a disposable pop song, which I think a lot, that's what happens. I mean, that's what pop
Yep.
music's for, right? But some pop songs kind of transcend that. And yeah, it's not a throwaway song. And it wasn't a cash grab song either. I mean, and Scott is saying, yes, still holds up. Try not to sing along. Exactly. Try not to sing along to Maneater this is one of those songs that when you're shopping in Target and it comes on and you got the cart and you're like, whoa, here she comes. Like you are totally find yourself like singing and kind of like almost breaking out
Absolutely.
dancing in the middle of the floor when you're perusing through like,
I've never
Star
done that
Wars
before.
graphic tees and buying like some like, blue corn tortilla chips.
Or a big turkey platter. Did you see that?
I did see your big turkey platter.
I'll show everybody later.
Yeah, or a big turkey platter. So, yeah, this song 1,000% holds up, and it's a really well written, well crafted song, by the way. So, and that's why I think it has kind of stood the test of time. And I mean, when you just think about Hall & Oates in general, as far as like a songwriting duo goes, I mean, these guys. So talented, written so many great songs. I really enjoyed watching a lot of when it used to be on live at Daryl's house, and he would sing and perform with other artists. Like the concept was like, whatever contemporary like all indie artists would at the time band, they would come to his house, they would eat, and they would go into his cabin, his studio, and play music together. And they would do like a Hall & Oates tune, and then they would do like one of their songs with like Daryl Hall on. It was just such a great concept, and I just loved watching because I can watch Daryl Hall has got an unbelievable voice. But the two of these guys together, and I know right now they're currently don't talk to each other. They're fighting. There's a lot of legal battles. All this is what happens sometimes in the music business. But
Yes.
there are some great songs that these guys did together. And Maneater to me ranks way up there, possibly number one on my list of Hall & Oates songs. So where do I rate Hall & Oates Maneater on a scale of 1 to 5 records?
I'm ready.
Is this an eternity playlist song? Can I hear this song forever and ever? Probably not by itself, but it is way up there as a really great song. I agree with what Scott is saying. Like it holds up, and try not to sing along to it when it comes on. It's a good one, man. I don't know. I think I could hear this one forever.
It's really just got a good energy to it.
It has a great energy and
It's
such a good
toe tapper,
vibe.
shoulder bopper. It's good. I don't think it overstays its welcome.
Yeah. I don't think so either. And the song itself too is actually, as far as songs go, it's a 4.5 minute tune. Like You know, and it moves. It's that bass line, man, that groove. So, okay, so where am I rating this song on 1 to 5 records? I am going to squarely put this at a 5 record song. It is a 5
really
record
went
tune.
5 records.
I think I gotta. I mean, I don't think anything else is acceptable when it comes to this song. Like, it's a 5 record tune. I could listen to this song on repeat. I don't know. I feel like I could.
I was.
I know.
Our
Exactly.
playlist
Yeah.
for anyone who wants to follow all of our songs. Our Spotify Song Swap Showdown 2024 playlist has every song that we talk about. There's over 10 hours. There's probably 13 hours worth of music on there now. So this is on there, and I was listening to it over.
I think it's a perfect song. I think it's a perfectly well written song that, like you said, you made some really great points. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's not a pop song that like is annoyingly catchy. Like, it's got a lot of rhythm and soul and groove to it, and it's vibey, and it feels like 80s, but it's not so 80s that it's like, ugh.
It's like a dessert that doesn't like make you like sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
But you want a little more. You know what I mean?
It's a perfectly made grilled cheese sandwich with the crispiest fries.
Oh, yes.
That's this song, Maneater. Look at that. Done.
And
There you go,
for that
guys.
reason alone, it's 5 records.
Yeah, maybe even a four cheese grilled cheese, or is it just a really good like
Double decker,
bacon and tomato? Yeah, there you go. That's Maneater, guys. That's Maneater epitomized as a grilled cheese sandwich with a side of just perfectly cooked crispy fries. There you go. Delish. So there you go, guys. I'm giving it 5 records. It's tough to not give, for me, Hall & Oates. So wow, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where would you rate it? Because if we're playing the game of Song Swap Showdown at home, if we're playing the game at home, where would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 5 records? Would you give Maneater? I don't think anybody's giving Maneater. I would personally think that anybody listening or watching this isn't going to give Maneater anything under 3 records.
I would suspect the same.
I think everybody's going to give it somewhere in the vicinity of 3 to 5 records. However, I do think it will score very high because the song has some longevity for sure. I mean, on Spotify alone, it has. Let me see how many plays this has.
Well, and I wonder why you're looking that up. So our analytics say that we've got a range of babies who listen to our show, and we love that.
This
was not out when these babies were even alive.
Yeah.
So does it hold up for them? Like, what do they think when they hear
this song?
Maneater? We
has
want to know.
752,974,000
700
streams.
What million?
752,974,000.
Okay, how much population is that in a state? Like Michigan only has.
And by the way, right behind it is Rich Girl at 809 million. And guess what? You Make My Dreams Come True is 1 billion.
That was the song
1.1 billion. Just to talk about the power of Hall & Oates. That's some amazing streams right there, guys.
Michigan is a pretty big state.
Yeah.
Can we agree about that?
Yes. It is a big state.
It only has 10 million people.
That's because it's got a lot of empty space.
Yeah, but think Michigan has 10 million people, and think of how many more times Maneater has been listened to. Like, that's just...
It's insane. I mean, it's
global. It's a global phenomenon.
Scott Rewalt is saying H2O is the
whole
whole album is a 5 record. Wow, I like that.
There.
Yeah. Yep.
Fire there.
My sister coming in. I love Hall & Oates. I agree with 5. Look at the agreements coming in. Yeah, and I agree with our demographics because it turns out there are a lot of 20-somethings and even under who listen to the show.
Thank you, too.
And thank you. We appreciate you guys. So, yeah, definitely let us know what you guys think for sure. And obviously, if you're on Spotify, there's a little comment section so you could write in there. We'd love to hear what you guys' ratings are if you're listening on a podcast app somewhere, especially Spotify, because they seem to have so much interactivity. I love it. So
I love it.
So, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much.
So thrilled that so many people agree.
Yes.
Maneater, or just Hall & Oates in general, are 5 stars. 5
Hall & Oates in general is just great.
How
They're
awesome.
just great. Yeah.
Well, what a great song to start this show. Again, even
Yeah.
though it didn't come out in 83, it charted.
Yeah.
So I got me some 5 records from that. All right.
Charted in 83.
Charted in 83. Now, Chris's first song to me is Looks That Kill by Motley Crue.
Yes.
I always know that's coming.
You know it's coming.
I know it's coming. Listen, this was 10 weeks on Billboard Hot 100. 10 weeks.
It certainly was.
52 weeks in a year, everyone. And this is 10 weeks of it were spent on the Billboard Hot 100. That is super impressive.
This was a big video on MTV that was in heavy rotation. Did you watch the music video for this?
I surely did. Now, listen.
You
We
did?
Yes, I did.
Yes. I'm so
Now,
glad you did.
remember, Amanda wasn't allowed to watch MTV. So
No.
this is the first time I had seen this video. It's a lot to watch. Yeah, I wasn't disappointed, but it wasn't necessarily what I was going to expect either.
What did you expect?
You know, the fact that I literally went into pressing play with zero expectance in my brain though too. So like, how could I expect something yet it not hit what I expected? I don't know. That's just how my brain works.
Okay.
I didn't think there would be such like a heavy like cat-like presence. So that like was interesting to me. Like, why were women all like cattish?
Because I because they're seductive, man.
Cats are seductive?
Well, they're like warrior queens. Like they're like supposed to be like warriors, like Amazon warriors or post-apocalyptic, like very Mad Max, like,
But they acted like kitty cats.
Yeah, but that's like they're like prowling. They're on the prowl, like a panther, like a cheetah. A jaguar,
Jaguar.
it's a cat. It's like a big cat stalking its prey.
Okay.
So you know what? We're gonna watch a little bit of this
Okay.
right now.
Well,
I queued it up.
Perfect. I'm not ashamed to say I follow Nikki Sixx on all social media, and I love him as a dad.
He is a fun. He's fun with that.
I really like seeing him in his form today.
In his form today.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so let's watch a little bit of this.
Oh, it's like a cave.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look how bad this set is, by the way. Can we just stop real second? Like, this is literally like
awful.
it's a step up from what we watched at Uncle Floyd. Like, we just watched Uncle Floyd set. This is a step up from the Uncle Floyd show. But like, isn't that
you are so right.
is it that much of a step up though? Like, they had more money than Uncle Floyd, but like, I just want to point that out.
It's
It's like torches and
sure is. They cage him up in like this tiny little fence.
Now, Amanda, if your mother had caught you watching MTV and this was on, what would have happened? Like,
She would have said, Amanda, that's pure filth.
Filth. I would pay money to go back in a time machine and be the friend that like your mother's like, I don't know, why are you hanging out with that guy? He's like a bad influence on you. And I'm like, no, let's just watch MTV. And we put on MTV and this comes on and your mother walks in just as like looks
Brain
that
rot.
kill. Yeah, she's like, you are banned from this house. You are not allowed to be friends with that boy anymore.
That Vaglio boy is just a bad influence on you, Amanda.
That's right. Devil worship. It's like devil worship going on here.
Probably. She probably also said, why are those girls acting so stupid? Oh, the intense look.
It's great.
You know, anytime Marcus listens to music like this, he always defaults to drummer. Like,
Yeah.
you tend to go to, like, guitar.
But look at Nikki, look at Tommy Lee in the background with the moves. Look at it with the constant stick twirls. Awesome.
Those outfits had to be very cold.
It's the bell. The clock strikes midnight. Only makes sense.
Very powerful. Look, they can't stay away from these ladies. They just
No, I mean, come on.
They just need them.
All right.
It's something. They're prowling, but they're weak, and they get captured, and one of them gets out at the end, and it's like a game of cat and mouse. It's Mousetrap at this moment.
It is. It's Mousetrap.
It's Mousetrap. This is probably where the idea of the game Mousetrap came from.
Yeah.
Was Looks That Kill by Motley Crue.
Looks That Kill.
Yeah, they're like, got an idea for a perfect game. A kid's game, nonetheless.
Kids game.
So this is interesting to me because now that we're, the end of our season 4, I always go to what would I have thought that this would have been rated season 1, because this would have been a lot for me, right? At season 1, I would have said this makes my ears bleed, and I wouldn't have liked it. At best, I probably would have given it, like a 2.5, you think?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you would have been very much not open to this song. You would have been like, ugh, Motley Crue, like, no, this is not for me. This is not the Carpenters.
Yeah.
This is not Garth Brooks. I am not listening to this. This is not Elvis.
This is not Elvis. But here we are, end of season 4, 2024, that I think going into 2025, I think I may have a metal playlist.
What?
Right, and this would be included on it. Now let's unpack that.
Let's unpack this a little bit.
Let's unpack, because I was listening to it this morning as I was getting ready, doing some cleaning, and it felt right.
You felt yourself singing it. She's got the looks that kill. She's got the looks that kill.
I didn't
it's
know
infectious.
all the words, but I was bopping and I was moving and I was grooving, and I was like, maybe this is placed on a playlist for when I'm cleaning or walking.
It's definitely a good walking song. It's a brisk walk. It's like dun, 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 dun.
It might be a little too fast paced for my walks, but maybe it'll pick up my speed a little.
Increase the pace.
I got little legs.
It'll increase your pace.
Motley Crue might just be too fast for what my little legs can take me.
Right. Okay.
But I think a cleaning playlist. So I do declare the year of 2025 to be my metal playlist, like, debut.
All right.
So what I'm gonna ask everybody.
So it's 2025. Are we going to Amanda's metal era?
There was that grunge lost years.
You lost years in grunge.
Yeah, this might be the lost years of metal. Now I don't think I can get away with wearing metal.
The metal look. Right.
Although I would wear the hair. I want to be very clear.
Yeah, you're all about
the hair. I would totally have the hair.
You'd be all about the hair.
Absolutely. Maybe the makeup. I don't know. They wear more makeup than I ever have in my entire life. So I think what I'm going to ask everybody is, let's find songs to recommend to me. And maybe this is an entire show for 2025. I don't know. Just spitting it out loud.
It may have to be a whole show where we put together a playlist for Amanda
based
of
metal listener
songs.
recommendations, and we can go through and live add them to my playlist.
I like that.
I think that might be fun. And
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think people know my desire out of metal music, where it needs to be a little bit more entry, not like crazy.
Right.
And
It's
so
okay.
I think the recommendations would be great, because I don't even know where to start. If you said, Amanda, make me a list of 5 of the best metal bands of the 80s, I wouldn't even be able to do that.
I think that this song would be on the list. I mean, I think you've got to have Motley Crue. I don't think
it.
you can have a conversation of good 80s metal without having Motley Crue on the list.
Hey, everyone listening,
in my
do
humble
you agree?
opinion.
Those listening right now, put in the comments, do you agree with Chris's statement? I'm going to pretend like he's right, but I have nothing to back that up with.
She's nothing. So, yeah. So, okay. So, on November 18th, 2024, Amanda has declared that she is open to listening to a metal playlist. I like it.
That's a big deal. I
In
really
80s, in
honor
80s.
my playlist.
All right. Very good. I like this. I like this era that we're going into your metal era.
What does this mean for Amanda? I don't know.
I don't know.
Worlds may not be ready for
The world
metal
may not be
Amanda.
ready. A 2025 Amanda coming very, very soon.
I'm loading. I'm
Yeah.
loading.
Yeah, stay tuned, everybody.
Like, yeah, Mariah Carey was defrosting. I'm loading. All right, so where do I rate this?
Where do you rate this song on a scale of 1 to 5 records now that you have found your metal footing?
I think based on that this was an entry-level song to this idea of I'm going metal, I'm going to give this a 4.0. And I know that might not seem heavy for a lot or high for a lot of people, but considering where I came from, I think that's very respectable for this song. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree 100%. Considering where you came from in season 1, you would have dumped on this song. You would have totally dumped on it. Now, here we are 4 years later, and you're talking about making a metal playlist. I will accept this.
There's big growth.
Listen, much like I've accepted a lot more country in my life than I normally would have ever done in my entire existence, I am happy to hear that you're accepting more metal into your life. Look at this effect we're having on each other.
I know. I'm
like an old married couple.
I know. And you know what? If you guys want some good laughs, go listen to season 1. Go listen to our season 1.
Just go right to that first episode, first off.
How, like, I was so stuck up about music.
You were such a snob. But then again, so was I. So
We were snobbing together then.
we
but
were
it
snobbing.
was-
We were snobbing together. But that was, the first 10 episodes are really funny to go back and listen to.
They are, and maybe we will treat you because with the holidays coming up,
Yeah.
there might be a episode or two that we don't do that week because we might be our spouses might hate us if we do.
Yes.
So maybe we'll replay the first couple.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a
just for
remix.
kicks.
We'll have to do a remix of
That'll
the
be our
first.
present to our listeners.
Yeah.
They'll be like, wow.
You guys are crazy.
I know. We
Yeah.
still are, just different.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
4.0, Chris.
I like your 4 records. I accept that. So thank you very much for the 4
My
records.
pleasure.
So, all right, guys, before we get into our number 2 picks, just want to quickly remind everybody, and we want to thank our sponsor,
Yes.
Cardiac Attack Coffee, guys. Listen, get your heart pumping with Cardiac Attack Coffee. You know, we talked about this last week, Amanda. Like, the holidays are coming, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm so out of like gifts and stuff, like, and even receiving gifts. Like,
agree.
I'm like at a point where like I want experiences, right? I'm more about the experience.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also a big coffee guy, and I appreciate getting coffee as a present. I really do. I think it's great. Like, coffee in a mug. I honestly think that that's like says more than like going and spending a ton of money on something else. And like, I think
use it.
yeah, I think giving the gift of coffee is great. And they've got these awesome variety packs right now, which I think is excellent. So if someone's like, if you have a coffee lover in your life and they're like, and you don't know, like, get them this coffee pack. They have this whole variety pack. You can get whole bean. They have their dark roast, Guatemala, Ethiopia, and Costa Rica. So you have a medium and a light roast. It's a great way to give someone a gift. And then you could even pair it with one of their awesome pieces of merch. They have cool mugs.
So good.
Look at these mugs for everybody watching the video version. Great mugs, great glassware. Look at this. These are wild. I love this. Even little coasters too. Super cute. And they even
These
got this
all could have
great
been
print.
album covers.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are excellent. I love them. Are right out of New Jersey. And they also have these awesome cold brew kits too, these cold brew packs. So if you're a fan of cold brew or know somebody in your life who's a cold brew fan, get your hands on these because they are great. They have cinnamon roll, mocha bean, pumpkin pie, fruity pebbles, and
I'm
chocolate
gonna check
chip.
that one out.
So very cool stuff. Listen, we're all about supporting small businesses here, and one of the best ways to do that is support a company like Cardiac Attack Coffee, started by 3 guys who just wanted to create really awesome coffee. Get your heart pumping, just tie in all the things they love: punk rock, music, hardcore, action, sports, I don't know, the whole thing. Like, come on, be active. Like, coffee is good. It's good for the soul. I mean, I'm even like
It is good for the soul.
drinking out of our old mugs here, our OG mugs.
I got our new one.
Yeah, our coffee is life. I have to update these to be like the
vintage?
because these have our old. We used to be called the Chris and Amanda Show. It says the Chris and Amanda Show coffee mug, very on the nose. But coffee is life. So I got to update these for some.
We were so proud of those.
But you know what's in this cup?
Some
Cardiac attack. There it is.
Listen, you guys, like, I got it right here. I am not even lying when I go and just sniff the bag.
Yeah.
I know that might seem weird, but it just gives me like that that punch in the face. And I love on the back of the cans, it says, so whether you're hiking up a volcano or just struggling to listen to your boss on a Monday morning, we've got you covered. Boom.
I love it. I love
the sound of coffee beans.
It's the best. And when you grind them and that smell, oh, that smell.
And that's, so there are days that I use, I buy like ground, right? Coffee, because quick, but there's days that I want that full experience, the smell, the aroma of it coming out of a whatchamacallit thingamabob,
the French press.
Thank you.
French press.
My mind is blank. But yeah, the French press. It's so good. So yes, Christmas gifts, man.
Hostess
gifts for Thanksgiving.
Christmas, yeah.
Birthdays, all the things.
You know what? That's actually even a better idea because my mom used to do for Christmas. She'd give out like little packs of things. It's like just get the variety, get the little packs and give those out to people or the mugs or anything. It's a great gift. So if for all the coffee lovers in your life, think about some cardiac attack coffee, whether it's the holidays or not. Just get it. So right now, for all of our listeners, use the code Song Swap Showdown to get 15% off your order. So go to cardiacattackcoffee.com, use code Song Swap Showdown for 15% off your order, and get your heart pumping. Cardiacattackcoffee.com, guys. Boom. Make it happen.
And
Do it.
I want to say, I know we spend a lot of time talking about our awesome sponsors. Like, we do spend way more than the typical podcasters.
We do.
But we really respect those partnerships that we have with our sponsors. And so, like, I know we are a little long-winded when we talk about them, but that's why we choose the ones we love.
That's right.
When we spend that time, it's because we truly love the product. So thank you all for like listening to our 5-minute promo.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. And while you're over there, also go down to our merch where everything's 20% off. Go to our merch store, Song Swap Showdown merch.com. Or just actually songswapshowdown.com. Go there. 20% off all our merch on there. We're trying to work on a holiday shirt. So as well. So, all right, guys, let's get back into it. Let's go over to our number 2 songs for each other. And Amanda, you have gifted me.
I sure have.
Another powerful song. Culture Club. Do you really want to hurt me? And off of the Kissing to Be Clever record. And I have this record as well.
You are on fire today.
I have this record. I got it back in the day. I'm an OG Culture Club fan. Song reached number 2 in the United States and number 1 in the UK, originally released in 1982. However, the song did not really catch any fire at all until 1983. 1983. And
hence is why it's on this list today.
Yeah, and he actually, Boy George was talking about this, that the song really didn't hit until the performance of it on the BBC, actually. They were on a show, and it's sort of like, it really wasn't catching on at all, but it's because of the performance that he did that it actually caught on. And I was just looking for it because I was like, I just saw it in here.
2 other failed singles that didn't do good. So this was kind of like a big deal that this needed to go good, but he didn't even want to use this song.
Yeah, he said he was basically in Q Magazine in 2008. He goes, our first 2 singles failed. That single was our last chance, but I threatened to leave if the label released it. I didn't think it was us. It wasn't club music. It wouldn't stand up to Spandau Ballet, but I was wrong. It was so personal a way that our other songs weren't. It was about John, and all the other songs were about him, but they were more ambiguous. And this song is the one that just really finally took off. It absolutely took off. Yeah. And it's crazy too, because I mean, you think about right now, you know, how I guess iconic Culture Club is, that look, that image. I mean, everybody, you know, the wedding singer, you know, that whole with George, the friend George, and he's doing the whole Boy George look, and he does the song in the wedding. It's just great. Yeah, like, I love it.
If it was an 80s poster child,
it would be Boy George. Yeah. And Boy George still is out there, still performs. He actually just played in New Jersey. I played in Atlantic City over the summer. And he still sounds great. He's got a great voice, man.
Mm-hmm. Which I didn't know. When I read further in songfacts.com, they were saying when people meet him, he doesn't have that higher pitched voice. It's a more of a normal man voice when he speaks to him, and people are shocked by that, which I would never really have thought. You know, of course he's not going to talk as high as he sings.
No, not at all. I
But-
mean, he does, and you hear him in interviews, like his voice isn't very high, but he
Yeah,
gets
it
that
just-
higher register.
I didn't think about how, like, I might have been thrown off by that too.
Mm-hmm.
And bravo to him for really just, and it said as a younger person, he wore girls' clothes well before he became popular for it.
Yeah.
And I said, good on him
Yeah.
for, because the 80s were not as accepting as they are now.
Not not like it is now. I mean, that was back in the day. I mean, it was a very bold choice to
Huge.
just
yes.
be, hey, this is who I am, and I love it. And
Yeah.
he took his lumps because of it in some circles,
course.
but it really became a signature look for him and the band, and was great. And
Good on
I
him.
always have loved that. He just was brave and just said, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do, and he made it part of the band and the look and the image, and I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, dressing up as women and all that and rock music and pop music is nothing new at all, but there was something about the way he did it that just made it like very 80s. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a signature look for him.
So cool.
I love it.
So cool.
Absolutely love it. So, and I also love too, like, and this is funny thing about this song is that it's very sneaky. Is that you don't, when you really listen to it, and I didn't even think about it till I read this again, and that, because you realize, like, they definitely like the club stuff, but the reggae influence on this song is that it's a very soft reggae beat. So they talk about it. It goes, the band came up with a very soft reggae beat and put the song together when they found that they had some spare studio time in the recording session for the Peter Powell show on BBC Radio 1. Their bass player, Mickey Craig, brought a Caribbean influence to the band's sound, and I never thought about
Put
that.
your finger on that specifically. Yeah.
But I think it's another reason why this song is, to me, very infectious. And I feel like, once again, are we going to say, does it still hold up? I say yes, it does. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think? So let's play a bit of Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? And I know it's like, the whole wedding singer stuff, but the song itself is definitely, to me, has some lasting power, for sure. I mean, what a soulful voice.
He just jumped right into it.
Right away. By the way, this intro was actually not part of the original version of the song, their demo version. This was added later.
This is warming you up for what you're about to get. Oh, so good. Come, here we come, here we come.
I just never, like, it's clearly a reggae, but I just never, like...
Never. Because I think our brain, the intro is so different than when it picks up.
Yeah. It's another Target banger, by the way.
All day long.
Another Target banger. We should make a playlist of Target bangers.
Yeah. You can. Like, oh, I love that. That. Oh, so much.
I love that part. It's
Yes,
so
all the elements are
catchy.
fantastic. This just transports me to the 80s. 1000%.
And it's such a cool, like, it's just a really well crafted tune.
It's romantical without being like that gushy love song, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like men can sing it, women can sing it, kids can sing it.
funky ass bass line, man. Yeah, it's good. So I definitely do not lump this in with 80s disposable tunes. You know, once again, we were talking about like 80s pop singles that were fun and catchy, but like they just kind of like they didn't really stand a test of time. Like much like today and the 2000, like you have the decades, you have great pop songs, and then they kind of like go away, and you're like whatever. Then every now and then you hear them like, oh, that was fun, but like they don't really stand up. I feel like once again, this song stands up on its own a bit. Like I personally feel like that. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, our audience, our community, you guys let me know. What do you think of the Culture Club? Do you really want to hurt me? Does it stand the test of time? Is it something that still holds up? I say yes, it does. I grew up in this time. Obviously, I do own this record. I bought this when this came out. This was a record I purchased because it's a good, and this whole record is a solid record. And yeah, it's fun, it's dancey, it's pop, you know, and being a rock guy, wasn't like, oh, the Culture Club record, like, but it was fun to listen to, great radio music. I love the vibe that Culture Club brought. And to me, they're definitely a fun 80s band. And so I really like this song a lot. Is it a 5 record song? This is where I'm at with this. So while I think Maneater to me is like a 5 record song, is it a perfect song? I don't think it's a perfect song, but it's a really, really well written song. And I really dig it. And I would, you know, I definitely comes on in Target or ShopRite. And you're like, do you really want to hurt? Like, you can't help but like sway and kind of get into that groove and all that. But this is going to be a very high score for this song because I do have a lot of like good feels for this song. So I would give this song a 4.8 records.
Nice.
Very, very, very skewed. Just because I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And I keep wanting to go see him. My friend Joan, I doubt she's listening right now, but she is a huge Culture Club and a huge Boy George fan. She always catches him when he comes around. She's gone to see him when he's on Broadway. Like she always goes to see him, and I'm always like, oh, I want to go, and I keep not being able to go, and so I gotta, you know, Rachel, my wife wants like we gotta go see the man perform because I've never seen him perform, and I would really like to see him do these songs, you know, because I know he's great. He still has a great voice. He still brings it, man.
Well, when you have a voice and your sound is like Boy George is, it's a lot easier to have longevity, I would assume, than some of the metal singers. I mean, you're not going to be able to have that energy, I feel like, at 70 to sing
you know,
metal.
yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, if you're Bruce Dickinson, yes. Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden, those guys are all in their 70s. And Bruce, like, I was watching video. I wanted to go. They just played New Jersey 2 weeks ago. And I was watching videos from that. And unbelievable the amount of energy this man has in 70.
That's
still can sing, runs around the stage. I mean, he's still, you know, the man has fought cancer and throat like a truly outstanding band. Guys are getting older, and the fact that they are still able to perform at a level. Rob Halford, Judas Priest, still out there. He's pushing 70 or is 70. Still phenomenal voice, can still sing. You know, these guys that like somehow have like been able to take care of themselves and somehow turn time back a little bit on their voices. And not all have. I mean, some have really, you know, fallen down. They've just aged. I mean, Bon Jovi is unfortunately, you know, the age has gotten the best of him. Like he can't do it.
Okay.
It's okay. People we're humans. We get old.
We get old.
You know, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, they just announced they're no longer going to tour because he physically cannot sing anymore because of vocal injury, and just time has taken its toll.
Absolutely.
So it does happen, and you know, these guys are fortunate, I'm sure, that they still have the ability to make music with their voices.
Grace us with decades of music, just as amazing to
yeah.
me.
So, so I would love to go see him. So 4.8 records for me for Culture Club. Do you want to hurt me? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. If you're playing along, how would you rate Culture Club? Do you want to hurt me on a scale of 1 to 5 records? Where would you put it? And once again, if you're listening afterwards, it's fine on Spotify or on YouTube or whatever. Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from our community what you guys think of some of these songs we're listening to. So, Amanda, my second song to you
is Photograph by Def Leppard.
Oh yes.
You make me big. Like
Sorry,
I was get good.
yeah. Sorry. That was a slip up. I was meant to click something else. Anyway, Def Leppard photograph. This was actually a suggestion.
Yeah.
From our Facebook community.
Well.
Huge record, by the way, for Def Leppard. Pyromania, enormous record for this band.
10 million records.
Absolutely a juggernaut of a record. This was played. This is another music video that was played endlessly on rotation. This and Rock of Ages, just constant rotation on MTV back in the day.
When I see like it sold 10 million records, that to me is just mind blowing because it took effort for people to go buy a record. It wasn't like you could just go to Spotify and start listening. I mean, you physically had to go to a store, wait for the release.
Yeah,
go
I went
to
the
store.
mall, man. I went to Bradley's, or Two Guys,
and purchase it with actual money.
Sears, J.C. Penney. I used to buy records at or Sam Goody or Record Town, like the mall.
Yeah,
this is out. Head to the mall.
And hope that they had enough, that they didn't sell out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how much, do you remember how much a record was when you were paying for them back in the 80s?
I would say they were usually anywhere between like $6 and $8.
Okay, so.
And then as it got, then it'd be like $10. And then it'd be like, double LPs were always more because you got 2 LPs.
Sure.
But in average, they were usually somewhere between $6 and like $8, I believe.
Would you convert that to 2024 cash? I mean, that's not cheap.
Yeah, now you buy records and they're $30 easily.
Right. So that's, I mean, what it took effort and timing and saving up to go buy things. So 10 million to me, when I just see that, I'm like, that's a huge feat. And well done, Def Leppard. Like I get, like, of course I know their name.
Yeah.
I didn't know this song though.
So according to Discogs, which is where you can buy records and all that. When it was originally released, it was sold for as low in some places as $6.49.
Which converted today's time is probably what?
I mean, today
probably what records are, right?
Probably like $25 now,
yeah,
$30. I mean,
it wasn't just like it was a cheap thing to buy.
No, I mean, I remember, I saved money up. I mean, I didn't have a job at that point. So, like, I made money off of, like, allowance or, like, being good enough, like, getting good grades that, like, my parents would buy me a record. And I remember my mom.
Waiting for Christmas.
Yeah, or waiting for Christmas. Yes, my Christmas list was always full of records. And I know my parents at the time, like, I think a lot of, like, the Columbia records and all that. And they would order records, and there'd be, like, 1 or 2 records in there for me every now and then. Like,
the catalog thing?
Yeah.
Where you do like the stamps?
Fit 20 records for 1 cent, like.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yep.
I never got to do it, but I loved playing with it all.
I used to do it all the time. It's how I built my big CD
Your
collection.
catalog. Nice.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Okay, so back to the song.
Sorry, back to the song. And back to the song.
Sorry, I just was impressed by the 10 million because it was just different times. So this song is just, it was interesting, the accordionsongfacts.com. It just started with a line of, I have a picture of a lady, like basically as simple as it was.
Yeah.
Like, and then it turned into this.
Yeah.
Which always cracks me up when something is so basic, so simple, and boom.
A photograph, man.
And it made me think, especially back in the 80s and 90s, magazines were such a big deal because we didn't have the internet, obviously. So we consumed things by getting like 17 magazine and all of this stuff. And your heart would throb because pictures would be put into your face.
Yep.
And so it just made me think of, how back then a picture, you literally fell in love with a picture as a kid.
You really did. I mean, posters were big. I mean, especially as a kid growing up. I mean, I had posters of, rock bands and then, whatever hot model was at the time. I had the Samantha Fox poster back in the day.
Right. So, like, it just is very relatable. So, at the time that this was written, I think it was not unusual to have a trading card or an autographed photo of some girl and fall in love to have
Absolutely not
be a song that became successful. I think people related to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a song to me, rock song wise, that has definitely stood the test of time. It's still catchy. That riff, everything about the song is really, really fun. It's hard rock, but super like sugary, like big chorus, which Def Leppard has always been known for, the big catchy choruses, especially, you know, later in their career after they came back. And because after this was the big thing that happened, which was, you know, Rick Allen got into a car accident. So they see tremendous success, huge catapulting success off of Pyromania. And in between, Rick Allen gets into that car accident, loses his arm. And in between this time, instead of calling it quits, the band waits for him to relearn how to play drums with one arm.
And that was something that was consistently said in the comments of how much people appreciated that they held space for him and he figured it out.
It's an amazing story because music business wise, the band could have been like, well, we'll just get another drummer. We got to stay on tour. But they were like, no, like the story is just phenomenal of like friendship, camaraderie, brotherhood, and like, no, we're going to wait. We're going to support him. And like, so all that stuff happened, which then led to Hysteria, which then like even bigger than Pyromania. And like really, you know, the band still just this bad. They did stadium tours. They played City Field. Like they're still out there, still living large. And, you know, and still playing these songs. And so this record in particular, for me too, growing up in the 80s, back in the day, there was a radio station, which still exists. It's just not the form it was, but it was 95.5, still on the down, WPLJ FM. And they would play all this stuff. I mean, they did a really good mix of like rock, metal, or like pop, you know, like this stuff, rock, hard rock, but they would play pop stuff, but they did a good. And I remember they would just play these songs. I just always remember like hearing Pyromania, they're always playing this, Rock of Ages, like always playing this stuff. I just have really good memories of listening to the song on the radio and just turning it up and being so into it. And then you turn on MTV and there's the video, and you couldn't escape this song. It literally was everywhere. You go down to the boardwalk and it's playing on the boardwalk.
I love that you have a boardwalk. You
know that a song is big when it makes the Jersey Shore boardwalk back in the day, and it was being played as you go by stands. You go, oh, this band's made it because it's on the board. Every stand's playing it on the boardwalk, so you know when bands made it when that happens. Anyway. So I've always loved this song. This is a favorite Def Leppard song of mine. So when we came up with this 1983, I'm like, oh, Def Leppard's on it. And then I saw people posting Def Leppard in the Facebook page for Song Swap Showdown. I was like, yep, I'm adding this to my list.
And you know what? I don't have any beef with this song. I like Looks That Kill a little bit better.
Okay.
But like that's still not bad.
Which is funnier to me because Looks That Kill's a little bit of a heavier song when you think about it than this song.
And maybe I just like the sass of it a little bit more.
The attitude.
Yeah, the little bit of an attitude. Now, the video left a little more to be desired, but
yeah,
I think I like the little bit of the sass to it. But this one is not bad.
All right. So let's listen to a little bit of Def Leppard Photograph for everybody out there who's never heard this before. Photograph. What a riff. This is definitely a good air drumming song.
I'm out of love, got a photograph.
Picture of.
Passing you love, you're too much. You're the only one I wanna touch. I see your face every time I dream. On the webpage and the magazine. So loud and please, so far from me.
Cowbell. Voice of an angel. Classic rock. You got style. You make everything. You like a child. You got something to hold on to me. What a great bridge.
course.
The cowbell makes this.
I love me some cowbell. I really do. I could play the cowbell.
You can play the cowbell.
I would own that
So freaking catchy.
cowbell. Do a cowbell.
So catchy, man. Like, it is a really, really well crafted like rock song. I mean, this is an arena rocker through and through.
Does the drummer do the cowbell?
It sure does.
So it's not like just this individual cowbell person.
No, I mean maybe in the studio they did it, but on the drum kit, it's on the drum kit.
Well, I'm just putting this out there. If anyone ever needed someone to do cowbell, that would make my heart smile.
All right, guys,
I
just
mean,
let it be known. Amanda is looking for
little-
cowboy session.
yeah.
Yeah,
cowbell
little
session.
cowbell. If you need someone to come in and just rock the cowbell
More, if you need more cowbell, I'm your girl.
you know who to call.
Don't call an
Yeah.
Oats. No.
That girl.
Call Song Swap Showdown.
Yeah, call Song Swap Showdown and ask for that girl.
That girl.
Dial 5 for cowbell.
Yep. All right. Where do I put this song? Like, I'm gonna
Where do
give
you put it?
A 3.5. Like, I'm
Okay, all
I'm
right.
not skipping it. I'm not
Okay.
skipping it.
So you are gonna give this out of a 5 record rating system. You're gonna give it a 3.5 records for Photograph. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
Okay. All
Did you
right.
want higher?
I mean, I thought maybe you'd give it a. I was actually more shocked that you gave the Motley Crue a higher rating than this one, to be honest with you. But
I don't know why. I just.
but it's okay. I mean,
I
listen, Motley
felt
Crue has
it.
that effect on people.
Well, and you know what? Like, that's honestly the song that I said, I need a playlist. So
Yeah.
I feel there's something about that one that
There's something about
know.
that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen,
a win's a win.
I'm for you. Like, I'm taking the win. I'm taking the 3.5 records. What do you guys think of Photograph by Def Leppard? How would you have rated it on a scale 1 to 5 records? We want to hear from you. All right.
We sure do.
So before we move into our final songs, I do want to just acknowledge some of our friends in the chat here today who have, as always, done a great
morning,
job
good
putting together
morning.
a playlist for us and always take the time to do that. So let's go over to our friend Ian, who, of course, is in Australia, and he's already sleeping, so he'll hear all this stuff in the morning. But he always comes on and makes his notes because it is very late for him over there as there's the time change. But he is saying, he says, hi to the best Facebook podcast, YouTube radio show about swapping songs I know. For Amanda, I was only 19, red gum, razor's edge, gonna goanna, staring at the embers, Tim Finn. So I think this is the songs
Can't
that
wait
he's
to listen
picking.
to them.
Yep. And for Chris, he's saying, show me some discipline, the Sunny Boys, waiting for a train, flash in the pan, and hold me tight, cold chisel. Who I will tell you, because of Ian, I have definitely gotten into some cold chisel stuff for sure. I've been listening to some more cold chisel. I'm digging the cold chisel stuff. And of course, for Dave Mattingly, he gives stuff. So for New Wave Dave, he's saying shoop shoop diddy wop comma comma wang dang, Montevideo and the cassettes. Wow, what a name, Montevideo and the cassettes. I hear motion by the models and listening by pseudo echo.
Nice.
Yes, and Dave Mattingly making a triumphant return back to Song Swap Showdown
we've missed
airways.
you.
We have missed Dave. And of course, does not disappoint here, Adamant Puss in Boots, which was great because my wife is a huge Adamant fan. And there was a band that played here right around Halloween. We went to go see them at Jersey Girl Brewery, and they were 80s, and they would dress up. It was great. I don't know if I sent you any video from that, but they were great. And they did Adamant, and the singer came out dressed up like Adamant. They did Goody Two Shoes, but I love it. He said, Barbie and Ken's Just a Gigolo. Burning Sensations, Belly of the Whale. Polecats, Make a Circuit with Me. Reflex, Politics of Dancing, and Houdini, Haunted House. Wow. And Dave, see, and the thing is, New Wave Dave was an on-air host DJ back in the day. So Dave knows what's up. He knows what's
sure
up.
does.
Says for Amanda, you can never go wrong. Dave's playlist for Amanda, I love. Depeche Mode,
Can never
Everything
go
Counts.
wrong.
Depeche Mode, S tier band, just absolutely great. Echo and the Bunnymen, the Cutter, another can't go wrong. English Beat, Save It for Later. The Rhythmics, Somebody Told Me. The Fix, Saved by Zero. Everybody forgets about The Fix, man. Great band. And the Thompson Twins, We Are Detective. Listen to this, guys. Dave's playlists are sick. Absolutely sick. And then for Ian, the Bobs with Helter Skelter, Cyndi Lauper's She Bop, which we actually been playing a great cover of that here on Radio Garden State.
Okay.
There's an awesome cover out, a comp out now where it's all New Jersey bands doing 33 New Jersey bands doing all 80s cover songs.
Oh, fun.
And the bands, there's a band on there that does She Bop, and it's awesome. Duran Duran, New Moon on Monday. Hazy
wrong.
Fantasies, Shiny Shiny, Tears for Fears, Pair Shelter, and Violent Femmes, Add It Up.
Whew.
God.
Look at those suggestions.
Holy smokes, man. What a freaking playlist by Dave Mattingly. Thank you, Dave, so much for doing that. Appreciate you putting that together. That was excellent. All right. So let's move into our final songs in the last 30 minutes of the show here.
I know.
Hey, we have a 2-hour show to fill up. I mean, we have 2 hours, and by God, we're taking it.
And you know what? We're always almost running out of time, as we're going to do today. Crazy to think. 2 hours.
That's because we are filling 2 hours, no problem. Just want to let everybody know out there, any other radio stations or anybody out there who just wants, 2 awesome on-air hosts who could do a show every day with their eyes closed for 2-3 hours. That's
Without
us.
a problem.
That's us. Someone out there, please fulfill our dreams of just becoming a morning show
This is
that just
I,
destroys.
yeah, we want to be very clear. This is not scripted.
Yes, thank
Not
you.
an ounce of this is scripted. We have 6 songs that we know we're going to talk about with some notes that we want to not forget to bring up while we're talking about a song.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
2 hours of unscripted bliss.
Listen, if you guys want this on your network, get a hold of us because
Who wouldn't?
it's pretty darn amazing. I'm just gonna say.
Oh my dear goodness.
Dear goodness. All right, guys. So let's keep it going here. And by the way, please make
Almost
sure if you do like what we do and you want to support us, please consider joining our Patreon site, patreon.com/Song Swap Showdown. And in our Facebook group, actually, we are giving away 10 free 6-month memberships to our Patreon because we've been putting up all kinds of content on there. And if you want in, join our Facebook group for free right now. And we have a little contest going. So take a look at that. Join our Facebook group and join for a chance to win a free 6 months of Patreon membership from us here at Song Swap Showdown. Thank you. All right. Next up, your final song to me.
Yes.
Amanda Sharp. Gloria by Laura Branigan. This is a song
that's right.
I used to hear all the time. This song brought back some memories for me because I remember being a kid in the car and my mother, because at the time when how this would work, this is growing up in the 80s, guys.
Yep.
My grandfather lived in the same town I did, and I was young. My sister was young, and I wasn't at that point. Like at this time, I wasn't in the 83. I wasn't old enough to watch my sister yet. I was not
Right. Yeah.
So my grandfather would watch us in between. My mother worked the night shift, so my mother would go in. She had to be in work by 4:00 to work the night shift. She did overnights at the bank. Mm-hmm. My father was a butcher, and so he was working during the day, and he wouldn't get off work until like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then he would drive from Nutley. If anybody, I'm talking geography here in New Jersey, but he had a ride coming back west. So we lived, actually, yeah, we did. We lived west because basically it took about 20 minutes with no traffic. So that was a weird time. And so I couldn't be left. I'd be coming home from school. It'd be like 3, so it was like, there's no one to watch us. Yeah. So it was, so my mother would drive me to my grandfather's, drop us off there. And then my father would pick us up. So where I'm going with the story is that on the way there was a very popular radio station here in New York called WNBC. So if anybody remembers Howard Stern, all that stuff, the show, the private parts, the movie, WNBC, like all that, he would be on the air.
That's the station.
And we'd be listening to it, and Howard played music because he would do the show and he would play music. And on the way, this was a huge song at that time. This was a single. And I just always remember driving to my grandfather's, because he lived right around the corner from where my mother worked. This felt like it was on every single time we would get in the car, was Gloria, Gloria. It was always that Laura Branigan song. I felt like it was always on the radio the minute we got in the car to go drive to my grandfather's. I don't know if my sister's listening. I don't know if she would remember that, but I have very vivid memories of hearing on WNBC, welcome, you know, and they're all doing a whole radio intro. Here's a little Laura Branigan with Gloria right here on WNBC, New York. Yeah, coming at you here. You know, like the whole DJ stuff and Howard used to, but it was, I just remember this song always being on the radio constantly. And I really hadn't heard this one in a while. Although I do hear it every now and then at Target or ShopRite. But I really hadn't heard it in a long, long time all the way through, you know? So it was actually interesting hearing it. And I gotta say, does the song hold up? It's got a really strong chorus. You know, it's very triumphant sounding. I feel like even though the song itself is not super long, it's still almost 5 minutes. I feel like it goes on a little long. But it is still catchy. And I get why this was a big song back in the day. Now, I know that it kind of took on a sort of a life of its own with the St. Louis Blues, using it as like a celebration. Really cool. Yeah, which I actually didn't know that part of the lore of this song. That and there's a whole, guys, there's an entire thing on there. I'm not going to go through it, but essentially the St. Louis Blues, who won back, they did win the Stanley Cup a few years back. This became like a victory song for them. And it kind of went on in some of the other sports teams and all that, but and it was part of like political rallies and all these things and not. So it's a song that has kind of perpetuated through time and keeps going. As itself, it was released in 82, as we said, but it charted here, charted US in number 2 in 1983 and charted number 6 in the UK. Now, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with this. Now, too, Laura Branigan, unfortunately, she did pass away in 2004. She passed away. She had a brain aneurysm at 52 years old, just 52 years old, like crazy. Yeah. And at that time, she was also doing off-Broadway work, starring as Janis Joplin in the Broadway musical Love, Janis. Like, crazy, man. And then, unfortunately, you know, she passed. But she did leave some great music. And the song was originally released, because it wasn't her song. She didn't write the song. It was originally released in 1979 by Italian pop singer Umberto Tozzi. And his version was a hit in Italy and was very popular in Europe. And when Laura Branigan started working on her first record, Branigan, she was teamed up producer Greg Matheson, who did keyboards and arrangement on the original song. So he suggested Branigan cover the song, but she was skeptical. But then she worked it up with English lyrics, and she came around, and the song became a huge hit. In the original Italian version, the singer is longing for Gloria. And in Branigan's version, she is addressing Gloria, whose head is scrambled over a guy. Gloria seems to be on the verge of insanity. Are the voices in your head calling Gloria? Branigan asks. So this is all coming courtesy of songfacts.com. He said, Umberto Tozzi wrote the song with Italian composer Giancarlo Bigazzi and Canadian songwriter Trevor Veitch, who wrote some of Sheena Easton's big hits and worked on Branigan's version as well, and is also credited as one of the songwriters. So there's a lot of interesting stuff about this song, and it's amazing how a song written in 79 comes back, re-recorded, becomes a hit. Huge. And this song has really had a lasting staying power. Yeah, my sister saying Gloria does remind me of Mom. Yeah, it's just that drive to Grandpa's with this. It was always on the radio, man, and my mother, you would sing it too. Gloria, Gloria. So anyway, let me listen. Let's play some Gloria. How's that? Oop, let me turn the sound up on that. That would help. Here we go.
You
right. So that's a little bit of Laura Branigan's Gloria. If no one has ever heard that song before, which I feel like a lot of people have heard that song before. And it is a classic tune. I mean, once again, it did chart number 2 in the United States it was released in 82 and charted 1983. What's funny is that Sheila E. also recorded a version of the song in French. And interesting enough, each version of the song, the original in Italian, Laura Branigan version, and the Sheila B. version, all have somewhat different lyrical meanings and are not literal translations. So I said Sheila E. Sheila B. Branigan's cover proved to be popular in non-English speaking countries as well. In Germany, where the Italian version went number 2, Branigan's English rendition topped the chart as well. So this song has just had a really interesting trajectory. And Amanda, by the way, for anybody watching, just having some technical difficulties, so she had to jump up, but she will be back on. But the show will go on as usual. So where do I rate this song? And where do you guys rate this song after hearing it on a scale of 1 to 5 records? Because I find the song to be good, but I do feel like that it does drag on a little bit. Like the chorus is definitely a big sing-along chorus. And I was talking before, I do have a lot of nostalgia about the song. But going back and listening to it, does it hold up? I don't know for me if it holds up. It is a good chorus, but I just don't think as a song as a whole still holds up for me. It doesn't mean it's a bad song though. So we're talking about songs that stand the test of time. Obviously, in certain circles, when we just talk about the St. Louis Blues and stuff like that, they're using as a victory song. It has a very triumphant, victorious feel. But for me, I would say I am probably going to rate this song a little bit lower than my other ones. I feel like out of the 3 songs that Amanda gave me this week, this would probably be the one, I'm not going to say the least favorite, but probably my lowest rated one. So this is one where I feel like it's a good tune. Not as iconic to me as Maneater or Culture Club, which I both gave really high ratings for. But I'm not that this one's going to be low, but I'm going to give this one a 3.7. I think that's where it kind of belongs. It's not, it's better than mid. But it's a good tune. It's a good tune. It just, for me, it just doesn't hold up as much as the other songs that Amanda gave me on her list. And Amanda's back. She reset her internet. She's back.
Well,
you missed my rating.
I'm on my cell phone, like tether.
Oh, okay.
So if it's slow, I'm sorry, you guys. Because the internet's just kapooped. So what was the rating?
Yeah. So I went through a lot, but the rating I gave was a 3.7.
Oh, you know what? I don't hate it.
Because I said that while your songs was a good playlist, I didn't feel like this was as iconic as the other 2 songs, and I don't feel like for me it has held up as much. While the song is good and it's very triumphant, I feel like the chorus is the best part of the song, and you just want to get to the chorus, but then it like keeps kind of it keeps going, so it drags a little bit.
Going.
Yeah, it's like almost 5 minutes. It just, so I feel like out of the 3, now it doesn't make it a bad song. I just don't rate. I'm not going to rank it as high as like Maneater or Culture Club. You know, I feel like it's better than mid, but I can't put it in the 4 record territory. So I give it under 3.7 because I do have a little nostalgia for the song too. Yeah. So 3.7 records.
And the nostalgia, I think, is important, and that's kind of how it ended up on my list. It was interesting because when I heard it, it also made me think of like my mom. And now that I'm like my mom's age that she would have been during when we would be in the car together jamming to this, I hear it as a whole different way now, like going through a breakdown. Like there's times like I feel like I'm going through a breakdown. And it's like my battle cry song.
Right. Your battle cry song. Gloria, Gloria.
I think you're heading for a breakdown. You're not wrong.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I might be headed for a breakdown. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So 3.7 records for me on this one. Where would you guys once again rate this song on a scale of 1 to 5 records? We would love to hear from you. Laura Branigan's Gloria. All right. My last song to you, Amanda Sharp.
Yes, is Come On and Feel the Noise by Quiet Riot. Incidentally, they're not quiet. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
This is the one song I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hold on. Why did I do the screenshot? I wrote screenshot. Let me go back to my little notes here.
Screenshot. Come
oh,
on,
I
feel
know.
the noise.
What I found was interesting was like they didn't plan a lot for this or practice a lot for this,
No.
which they had to kind of confess and like kind of whip together, and here it ended up being something pretty decent.
Yeah, this was a song that they first of all, this is a cover song. Did you know that?
I did not.
All right, so the original song is done by a big European British band called Slade. Now they did the original version, and it was a hit as well. But the song, Quiet Riot wound up doing the song. They got signed after being in the LA. I mean, these guys were talk about a band that worked their tails off. They worked their butts off, and they finally got a record deal after watching all the other bands that they came up with get record deals and them not get a record deal. They finally got a record deal, and then their first debut record, a major label record, Metal Health, was this, and lots of great songs on there. And a lot of the songs on this record were songs that they're already playing in their live shows. I mean, they were around from the 70s. I mean, they were playing with Van Halen and all that. And of course, the Ozzy connection here is Randy Rhoads was the original guitar player in Quiet Riot, who then he wound up auditioning and became Ozzy's guitar player in Ozzy's first solo band, which then, of course, went on to those first two records. Crazy, all this stuff written by Randy Rhoads. Huge, and we've told that story over and over. Randy, and unfortunately died in a plane crash and all that. But Quiet Riot was his band that he started with Kevin and all these guys, and like all those songs. So it's so much tie-ins and things, and to see them finally make it, and the documentary on Quiet Riot is actually really fascinating if you ever get a chance. Unfortunately, I think pretty much every original member of Quiet Riot, I think except Rudy Sarzo, is now gone, all passed away, and I think Rudy Sarzo is probably the only original member left from the original days of Quiet Riot.
So let me
but
ask.
They still kind of play a bit.
So if this is a cover song, is the cover song spelled the same? Because they're kind of known for their misspelling of words, right?
So yes, it is. The only difference is it is spelled. I'm trying to confirm that. I want to make sure that I'm correct about that. Yes, it is.
Like that they most of their song titles are a little misspelled, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of fun. Like, that's kind of like a branding thing. Like, you're a brander, right? Like, you work with businesses. I mean, that's kind of a unique thing to utilize to get people's attention, I would think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, and a lot, too, when you talk about, like, the Brits and stuff like that and all that, they, they always do stuff like that. And, like, slangs for things in England and all that are different than, the slangs here in America. But I'm going to play a little bit of the original Slade version because I know, too, we're getting close on time, but I just want to give everybody a quick taste of it.
I know. 2 hours and we're running short on time.
Yeah, we're running short of time. All right, here's a little bit.
Look at that beautiful cover.
This is the original Slade version. Released in 1973. So that's the original Slade version from 1973. Big difference, right?
Yeah, now I'm wondering if I was aware of the original and not this.
So, and then Oasis did a cover of this song too, which I'm not going to play out, but I love Oasis's version because I'm a huge Oasis fan. But yeah, in 1983, Quiet Riot did their version, which became the band's biggest freaking hit ever. Like, they never topped this.
Hit, he says.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely enormous.
So while you're queuing up their version of this, I think it's interesting, like, when we always go that one more day, that one more concert, that one more song to get you to the finish line of, like, making it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that with my social media. Like, just one more video. just
one more video.
One more post. The next one could be the one.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even really want to do this song because they didn't want to do a cover song, but they because they didn't.
But they did.
They did. I mean, it's one of these music business things, and so they did it, and they're like, whatever, and it became the band's biggest signature song. Crazy. All right. So,
it's good business strategy.
It is good business strategy, but I get it. Like a band wants to be known for their music, not someone else's, right? But it happens.
To put you on the map, sometimes,
right?
You got to do things.
Yeah. So for anybody who's never heard this, which I can't believe there's anybody in the world who hasn't heard this because it's played at every single stadium ever. But here we go. I mean, it is an iconic song that I don't think the song will ever die. It'll never die. I just don't think it's.
I think
it's a party song.
Yeah. I feel like it's a staple for sure. I'm gonna give it a 3.9.
There you go, right away. 3.9.
3.9.
Okay.
I mean, I still like the first song. Looks That Kill by Motley Crue a little bit better today. This is, I think, I understand the place in history where this song is.
Yeah.
And it's a bookmark and it's important. And so that I respect.
It's definitely important for this band. And I think just overall, like, it's a song that, like, you're talking about songs that, like, it's good entry level rock song, especially in the world of quote unquote metal. And it's just it was a huge hit for these guys. I mean, it's the one song. I mean, these guys, Quiet Riot had a very long career, had lots of great songs, but this is the song. And talk about MTV. On MTV ad nauseum, like every hour. This got so much airplay.
I bet.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable how much.
Playing what the people wanted.
Yeah, and they wanted this. So, all right, I will take your 3.9 records for Quiet Riot. Come on, Feel the Noise. And
all good
where do we wind up
today?
All good ratings. And once again, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know how you would rate these songs on a scale of 1 to 5. Records, all the songs we heard today.
And
which are many.
I didn't math it, but just by looking, I did come in the winner today. But
you were the winner.
Did I really? Because I was the cheater.
No, there's no cheating.
Okay.
I think it's good that we did songs this week that a lot of people knew because I think that people want to hear what we think about some of these popular songs.
Absolutely. And so let me ask you, and I also am asking our listeners, if you had to choose, if you could go back to live in any decade of the decades you've lived, what decade would you choose?
That's a good question.
I'm doing 80s.
You're doing 80s?
I'll die on that hill. Send me back.
I had a lot of fun in the 80s, man. I mean, I was younger.
Felt comfortable.
I don't know, but the early 90s were also a lot of fun too. So I had a lot of good.
I don't deny that. But the 80s just felt good.
The 80s were fun, and there was a lot of good music for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been great. We have one more piece of business to attend to for today, and that is to find out what next week's theme is going to be, which means, Amanda, what time is it?
We are spinning that wheel of show things.
All All right, time to spin the wheel of show themes, guys. Here we go. We're shuffling the wheel, shuffling. Let's see what we've got next week. What will be our song choices? What is the theme?
Which
Here
is
we
the
go.
Monday of Thanksgiving, right? The Monday before
Yes.
Thanksgiving? Okay.
It's another Back in Time episode.
Ooh, what do we got?
All right. Hold on. Before we do this, do we want to do the Back in Time? Do we want to go back to 1981 or do we want to spin it again?
Why don't we spin it again and see
All
what
right.
the other option is, and then we'll
All right.
like figure it out.
Okay. All right.
'Cause it
So
might
it's
be worse.
1981. It might be worse. 1981 is one choice. Let's spin again.
And I like 81, but it's just so close to 83.
It's going to be another one. Did this just land on the same thing again? Oh my God.
I feel like that means the wheel has spoken. and
My
we're supposed
God.
to
The
do
wheel is like,
19.
are you questioning me?
It's the wheel has okay, wheel.
Okay.
We will do 1981. Jeez.
Okay, jeez, and removing that one. All right, wheel. Yeah, okay. So 1981, we did 83. Now we're gonna be going back to 1981
Dear-
next
dear
week
me.
because, my goodness, the wheel was like, you're gonna spin again? No.
How dare you? It was as bossy as me.
Yeah, seriously,
I
that
just
was like
got
a,
Amanda
you just got amended by the wheel of thieves.
by the wheel
Wow.
of show themes. So 1981 it is. Okay, yes.
All right, guys. So
ma'am.
next week's episode, songs from 1981, because the wheel is like, we just talked about living in the 80s. You just said the era you'd like to go back to is the 80s, and the wheel heard you and then picked 1981, and then we had the gall, the audacity to question the wheel and spin again, and it said, big middle finger, 1981. You guys are doing 80. Do not spin again.
We did not. We can't even make this up.
Nope, that's
This
it.
is
So,
life
guys,
with Chris and Amanda, you guys. This is our daily lives.
this is what happens when you question the wheel. Do not question the wheel. Do not question the wheel. All right.
All right, 1981.
So with all that
Got
being
it.
said, guys, we're out. We will see you next week. Thank you so much, everybody who joined us today. You guys are the best. Please make sure you do all the things like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that little bell so that way you get notified. If you're listening on podcast, please hit that follow button. And we love you guys. Please make sure you listen to Radio Garden State all day long, radiogardenstate.com. Great shows, great music here all day long here on the channel. You guys are the best. We'll see you next week for songs
everyone.
from 1981. See you guys. Wild. That was a wild, wild, wild.